Welcome to Made to Heal with Angela Brown. So, I'm in my third part series on healing through the power of writing and healing, and I will get into that here in a minute. But I wanted to just send out a reminder of my 12-week online course for ages 18 on up. This is a course that will help you move forward if you're feeling stuck. Maybe you have childhood trauma or traumas that you haven't been able to clear past. I was in a bad spot for 30 plus years. I dealt with depression and suicidal thoughts. I dealt with childhood drama, one of which was sexual abuse. And the what it did to me is just I wasn't able to be myself for the longest time. And so it does a different number on different people. And so I just, it was something that affected me for a long, long time. And I didn't know how to get out of it. So I hit rock bottom in 2015, the fall of 2015. And I truly didn't know how to be happy. I thought that things outside myself, the way life was going, determined whether I was happy or not. And I was grossly mistaken. So happiness does come from within. And I didn't have that. And I didn't know how to get it. And I just remember when I hit rock bottom, I said, God, you are going to have to show me how to get there and what I need to do to turn my life around. And when I learned to submit to his will, and I'm still learning, that's a daily thing because I still make mistakes every day, just like everybody else does. But I am trying my hardest and just learning to submit my will to his. And God led me to tools and techniques and things that helped me heal. He led me to the right classes, the people, the right books. And I have spent the last several years, and this life, I will never stop learning, right? Learning is never done. So I continue to learn, but the last going on 9 years, I have learned so much that I've been able to be a whole new person and enjoy life and just be at a whole new level that I thought was never possible. I went from victim mode to victor through Christ, and it is night and day difference. You can have joy amidst this crazy world we live in, amidst your sorrows and sadnesses and trials. You can have joy. So this class starts June 9th and it goes to September 24th. And it's a weekly on Mondays. We do an hour to an hour and a half Zoom live anywhere in the world where you find yourself. You can take this class. Also, you get a one-on-one 15-minute phone call weekly with me to where we together, you and I, work with your targeted areas to reach your goals. And then there's some homework that's included and some PDFs that you'll get to download and print and to help you on your journey to become the best version of yourself, because you truly are made to heal spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And I help you on that journey. And so go ahead and click on that link below. So I'm going to get into what is another tool that we can use that helps us heal. It's in writing, right? The last couple of videos I've done are things that we can do to help heal in writing. The last one that we can do is take a notebook and take ourselves out in nature. It is so important to let ourselves be immersed in nature and get our thoughts together, collected, and become one with God. That's it's a great place to be. So I like to take a notebook, and you can write anything, and you don't have to write in nature. This is something that you can do in nature or not, but writing is powerful. So maybe you're artistic and you like to write short stories, or maybe you like to write poetry. Maybe you are like me and aren't quite gifted in that area. And so you can copy verses of scripture. You can write verses that touch you. You can write them out and copy them. Memorizing, when you memorize scriptures or memorize quotes because you really love it, it struck you and it hit home to you, the more you write it out, the faster you'll have it memorized. And so it's a tool to use in memorization. So sitting in nature, you can bring an art book. It can be your creative imagination book to where you can draw things that you see in nature. You can talk about what things remind you of. So I remember, this reminds me of, I wonder, get your creative juices flowing. I wonder why, whatever question you have in nature, right? Uh, just whatever comes to mind, you can write it out and be full of curiosity and wonder and in awe. And you can say, I notice. What do you notice out in nature? I notice that this is happening and this is happening. And I notice that um, just, I'll give you an example. I remember watching ants one time, and I was just really intrigued watching a little colony of ants and how they interacted with one another. And when one ant falls or gets injured or whatever, it's amazing how the other ants around it rally around it and help it. So that was just uh, something that had caught me. But there's so much to learn in nature, in how insects and bugs and animals and nature and the patterns that is in nature. God is a mysterious God, and I am just in awe when I'm outside and just even seeing the sky. Last night I went for a walk and it was amazing. The dark, what was before my eyes was just darkness, heavy rain clouds that were blackish looking, and then to the north of it was just sunlight coming in. So you just had this dark and light coming in together. And I like to it's kind of fun to see the epiphanies, and it kind of, I just thought, our lives can get heavy and they can get dark, and they're hard, and we have a lot of stuff that we're dealing with, but we always have Christ's light. And so darkness and light are always going to be existing. And it's, what are we going to choose to focus on? What are we going to choose to focus on? And you know what? There's beauty in both, because there's learning and growth that takes place amidst our trials. With all the trials and traumas that I had to deal with, I've had it easy compared to some, but we've all have trials. And if you take those trials and instead of having it crutch you and thinking, oh, well, this is how it is, this is how it will be, so I just, whatever, I'm going to just keep doing the same thing I've been doing, but yet you're miserable, right? So I was living the definition of insanity for decades, until I hit that rock bottom and I was like, enough is enough. The student, which was me, finally recognized that I needed to humble myself before God and do some learning and do some soul searching and to figure things out. And I knew I had to break some chains. I knew I had to break the old pattern of thought and my feelings that I had had with me all the time. I had to break the chains of being stuck. And so it's just amazing that what we choose to see. And so nature can bring a lot of lessons to us if we would just watch. And you'll be in awe. God is so miraculous, what he teaches you just through nature. The patterns and just rainstorms, snowstorms, the seasons of life, the cycles. And springtime is a time to create and get going, planting your gardens, and in the summer you see that fruition coming in and you have that full joy of life. And in the fall you harvest, and you know what? And it's you reap the bounteous blessings from all the work you put in, all the creations that you've worked on. And then winter comes along and it's a time for rest. It's a time to, hibernate, so to speak. And so nature gives us clues of how we can do things, how we can't just go all the time and expect to thrive. We have to have that downtime. We have to have that rest. We have to have, just as nature goes through its cycles, we need to allow ourselves to go through cycles. and love ourselves during every phase of it. So writing is powerful. Take that note, whether you're drawing, writing your thoughts. When you're out in nature, what comes to mind? What did you study? What were you listening to? Write it down, draw it out. Use that as your creative letting it out. And the more you do it, if you're like me and you don't feel like you have a whole lot of artistic abilities inside of you, it gets easier and better with time. But it's just, yeah, just it reminds me of I wonder and I notice when, or just always keep that sense of wonder about you and write about it. And just it's amazing what comes to mind. And so just never underestimate the power of writing. The sound of pencils are a little bit better than pen because you're including another sense. When you write with pencil, you hear it. Pen, you don't so much hear it. It's just smooth, right? But pencil, you just hear the scratch scratch. You're including another sense. And it really helps in the creative process anytime you write. Even just sitting down out in nature and getting your thoughts out onto paper. What happened that day, and talk it out, and come up with solutions. Or maybe you don't know what to do and you can say, this happened and I don't know what to do and I'm at a loss. And then, God, what do you suggest? And wait for that answer to come in, and it will come. It will come, and write it down. There's just so many things, beautiful things that come through the power of writing. And it's so healing spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So again, I just include that in your life daily if you can. Writing is powerful. It's a release. It's getting from your head, your mind, and your heart and bringing it out all on paper. And it's healing. So like and subscribe, share my channel, and feel free to hit the notification button if you want more notifications when I do a video. I do a daily video. So God bless. And until next time, bye for now.